Let me expose Satan some more. This goes to the Satanists, the mediums, the spiritists, the witches, the warlocks, those who think Satan is in control, those who are atheists, those who worship other pagan-like gods, and even for just local Christians and regular people in general who are not subcategorized under those categories. Let me get ready to show y'all how this weak force still has to get permission from our Heavenly Father, our omnipotent, great I am, the beginning of the end. As a matter of fact, he has no end now, does he? He's the beginning and the end, and he's the Alpha and the Omega. So let me get ready to show y'all how Satan has no control. He only has control if you give him the opportunity to, with his manipulation and his deceit. Look at Job chapter 1, starting in verse 6, where it says Satan attacks Job's character. Now there was a day when the sons of God, which we will talk about that another time. People get that confused with the sons of men and the sons of God. The sons of God were angels. I'm going to get ready to show that to you right quick. Remember when I said I wanted to show you what the sons of God truly represent? This is coming out of Yah's own voice, his own words, out of Job 33, when he said the Lord reveals his omnipotence to Job. This is when all the other stuff before this chapter was going on and things were being questioned and judged. Let me show you right here. Job chapter 38, let's start at verse 4. Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Tell me, if you have understanding, who determined its measurements? Surely you know. Or who stretched the line upon it? To what were its foundations fastened? Or who laid its cornerstone? When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy. He created angels before he created us. That's a whole totally different topic that I also have to break down biblically and spiritually. So going and coming back to Job chapter 1. The sons of God were angels. How do we know that specifically? Because let's keep reading. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. These sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, meaning they came to explain whatever they saw or witnessed or testified on earth, and they gave a report to him. Well, in the midst of them doing their assignment and their reports, guess who was also in the midst of these sons of God, also known as angels? Satan himself. And the Lord said to Satan, from where do you come? So Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro on the earth and from walking back and forth on it, meaning basically trying to find who he can attack through temptation and manipulation and lies and deceit, and who he can destroy, because Satan has deceived the whole world. So why else would he say that, y'all? Because he's looking at whom he may devour and who he can test. Well, guess what Yahshua said to him in verse 8? Then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil? So Satan answered the Lord and said, does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a hedge around him, around his household, and around all that he has on every side? And of course, he goes on and surely talks about the blessings and righteousness of Job. He says, but in verse 11, but now stretch out your hand and touch all that he has, and he will surely curse you to your face. Verse 12. And the Lord said to Satan, behold, all that he has is in your power. Only do not lay a hand on his person or his soul, man. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. As you can see, it goes on to talk about how back to back to back to back to back, Satan started taking everything material possessions, riches, wealth, even his children from him. But how was Satan able to do it? He had to get permission from the Most High, because the Most High is in control of good and evil. Satan cannot do nothing to you unless he petitions the Most High, like he did right here. He cannot do nothing to you except just blame you. And Yahshua and Yahweh, the Father, gives him permission to do so. And he commands him on what he can and cannot do. Satan don't even have control of evil. See, Satan is used by our Heavenly Father for an instrument of evil. It even gives a prime example right here, coming out of Isaiah chapter 45, coming all the way over here to verses 6 through 7. That they may know from the rising of the sun to its setting that there is none besides me. I am the Lord and there is no other. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create calamity. I, the Lord, do all these things. Do not get it twisted. It's not saying that he's an evil being. It's saying that he allows and creates calamity to happen. And that's all because of the sin of this wicked worldly system. That's all because Satan is here and he's in control of this wicked worldly system. But yet and still, Satan has to get permission. And Yahshua has to give him permission to do so. Yahshua uses Satan as a evil instrumental device. Keep that in mind. I mean, check this out. Even in 1 Kings chapter 22, you have to read this whole chapter to understand the context. But I'm going to go all the way over here. Chapter 22, verses 19 through 23. It says, Then Micaiah, which was a prophet, said, Therefore, hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, Who will persuade Ahab to go up, and he may fall at Ramoth Gilead? So one spoke in this manner, and another spoke in that manner. Then a spirit came forward and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. The Lord said to him, In what way? So he said, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all of his prophets. And the Lord said, You shall persuade him and also prevail. Go out and do so. Therefore, look, the Lord has put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these prophets of yours, and the Lord has declared disaster against you. Who got control? Who got control? We see this sitting in 1 Kings. We seen that sitting in Job in 2 different chapters. Who got control? Even the doggone demonic spirits got to go up to the heavenly realm and get permission. Who has control? Satan has no control, y'all. These witches and Satan wives and warlocks and heirloom, whatever y'all are, Satan has no control. I'm speaking to y'all witches and warlocks, ones that can astral project, ones that can put curses in dreams and destroy people's lives, ones that can listen on you because they can do all that I'm telling you now that you and Satan ain't got no control. You're only used by Satan, and Satan got to get permission to use you. And then it's up to you if your spirit is willing to open up that veil and break it for him to use you. Woo!